seat here.
All right, recording's live. Tatum. Yes, there we go. Tatum cam. We're gonna put
Tatum
you.
cam.
We're gonna put him right there. All right. So, DJ Spineshatter, Physwolf, thank you so much for coming.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to just come over
Yeah.
this way?
Yeah, come over this side. Yeah.
Yep, there we go. And let me actually adjust this real quick. Advanced audio properties. Mono. There we go. All right. Again, thank you so much, Physwolf, DJ Spineshatter, for coming to i.W.A.I.T. Sorry, my brain's not all there today. It's like I realized this week I'm DJing 5 times this week. I DJ'd once on Tuesday, DJ'd again today, DJing again Friday, and then twice on Saturday. And I'm actually running the event on Saturday as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That sounds hectic.
Yeah, I've also got 2 sets tomorrow at that Free Fire Friday. Should be fun.
Yes. All right. So, kind of for you guys who watch, this is kind of what happens with the event. We have our wonderful event in the description below. If these wonderful DJs will upload their sets somewhere, I'll get a link and put the link to their sets in the description. So if you miss out on the set and you want to know, listen to these wonderful DJs, there will be a link in the description below for you to go to. I'll also put my set there as well. So, DJ, we're going to go in the order of DJs who I was starting off in the order of the night. DJ Spineshatter, how long have you been DJing for?
I haven't been DJing at all. Once December rolls around, I will have been DJing for a full year. I haven't. Oh, sorry, I just bumped my mic.
No.
I've been DJing since December of last year, so roughly 6 months or 7 months.
Nice. All right, how about you, Physwolf? I saw some really awesome technique up there.
So I'm also a fairly newcomer. I started DJing over Christmas.
Joe Harry's probably calling you out. Like honestly, like we were,
true, man.
Yeah, like we were watching up there. Your let me unmute Joe Harry so you can hear him. But like we were watching like at the start where you were doing the 4-deck mixing and they had the same track twice, and then you like somehow merged into another one version of it to like extend the mix out or something to that effect.
Oh, so, like the one that you're talking about. So sometimes with these like really melodic tracks, if you don't perfectly match the key, they really don't blend like at all. So what I've done it a couple times now, but it works really well. Even if you pitch shift like really far out. So like there, I think I was pitch shifting it up by like 7 semitones or something. And by itself, it even sounds pretty distorted, even with Traktor's processing. But that way the melody is like introduced like perfectly in harmony. And then on the other track, you have it in its actual key. And you just wait for a pretty distorted buildup. And when you get the distorted buildup, you can kind of just low pass. Well, in this case, I'm low passing in the low passing in the actual key and high passing out the sort of pitch shifted key. And because it's all like distorted anyways, it just sort of masks it.
Cool.
You just got to kind of get it in key there in the right time for it to sort of settle in nicely. Otherwise, it's a little jarring.
Nice. All right. So, next question. DJ Spineshatter, what started you into DJing?
I can't exactly tell or remember what got me into DJing. All I remember is I remember seeing a few DJs in VR chat. I'm like, This looks cool. I kind of want to try this out, but I'm not sure. Originally started messing around in FL Studio, like trying, because I used to pre-mix all my stuff. Now I'm starting to live mix everything. So when I started, I was like, I don't know if I want to get into this, so I'm gonna like kind of pre-mix everything, and then if I get into it, I'll start learning to live mix. But yeah, mainly what got me into like learning to DJ and whatnot was seeing like the VR chat DJs and whatnot, because there's like no club scene or rave scene in my town, so I just decided to make my get my foothold in VR chat.
Nice, nice. Any particular DJ that inspired you, or?
Not necessarily, but a couple of my friends who were DJs before I started DJing kind of like inspired me as well.
Nice, nice. All right. How about you, Fizz? What inspired you to start DJing?
I basically just you have a little club going in a VRC instance and putting on music, and I don't know, people were liking the kinds of tracks that I was picking, so I just felt like getting into it. I started off just with just like some free mixing software, Mix, like MI.X, just little keyboard kind of mixing, and got another controller and then upgraded to this one a couple months ago.
That kind of leads into the next question. What if you are currently, like, how are you mixing? Are you currently using a deck, or are you using the keyboard and mouse software and all that stuff? I'll leave it open to whoever wants to answer this one.
I'm currently just using a mouse and keyboard. I don't have an actual deck, but when I do get a deck, I plan on hopefully starting out with the DDJ 400, since everybody seems to be recommending that one.
Yes, that's what I have.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a good deck.
Yeah. I'm running a Tractor S4 Mark III, which is just the newer one, and Tractor Pro 3 for software. It's pretty decent. I love the switches. This is an upgrade. My original controller was a Newmark Mixtrack Pro, which, to be fair, for the price, I don't think I can say anything too bad about it. But the button and switch quality on the S4 are quite a bit better.
Nice. And that's what actually leads me into the next question that I usually end up asking. What was your first, deck that you used? So yours would be the Newmark.
Mixtrack. Yeah.
And then you're
oh,
good.
Yeah, I'm just using a mouse and keyboard. Yeah.
Honestly, you did good with the mouse and keyboard, and yours was a live mix too, right?
Yeah, mine was entirely live mixed.
So yeah, it's definitely good. Like, as far as like DJs, you don't need software. It certainly helps out quite a bit to mix sets. If you watched the interview featuring Blitz Astoria, he does all his stuff in, I think, Premiere. So like, you don't need to have a DJ software to do it. I think Misho Shark also, Misho Vibe Night also does his stuff in a completely different software than what you think we would be using. like now, since we kind of discussed like what software we use, what decks we use, to be a DJ, do you need to have a very expensive deck? Because I don't think your deck you're currently using is relatively cheap.
Yeah, like I don't think that it's necessary whatsoever. I mean, like I think that like even the cheaper controller is more than good enough. Like there's certainly some tricks that like I like to do, but you can do pretty decent kind of analogs to those, just even with the 2-channel controller, and a lot of them even with mouse and keyboard. A lot of them are, just trying to find, you spend your time searching through and like, where's the actual good cue in point, and even some pretty minor, even just like crossfading, or sometimes if you do it the right spot, you can even just lay them right on top of each other, and you don't even need to do any kind of, proper balancing between them at all. So I definitely don't think it's necessary in any way to put together something competent and sounds good.
Nice. I'll ask you the same question, DJ Spineshatter, but since you don't have a a deck, it probably you may or may not have an answer.
However, I can contribute to it. I do know other DJs that DJ with a mouse and keyboard, so I can kinda sort of vouch for the fact that you don't need like expensive equipment to like actually like DJ and whatnot, but it does make it a little more challenging.
Yeah. You do have to just completely change up your flow and whatnot, but yeah, it's completely doable.
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as like you played through quite a few different genres, DJ Spineshatter. What genres did you run through?
I ran through most of it was terrorcore and just up-tempo hardcore. I did open with I think it was like hard house. I don't exactly know the specific genre. But then I tried to do a smoother transition into rhythm, because that's actually where I got my start with DJing, is I started learning to like do like rhythm and whatnot. And then I went into some tarot, and then closed with metal, which is one of my favorite genres because it's like one of the easiest genres to mix.
Nice. How about you, Fizz? What did you end up playing tonight?
I think it mostly fall under like happy hardcore, hard dance, and Frenchcore kind of stuff. Certainly the more melodic Frenchcore.
Nice.
Frenchcore is pretty broad.
Yep. But yeah, Frenchcore is pretty much just hardcore, but cranked up by 50 BPM, and then a lot more noise.
Yeah, it's almost like not terribly descriptive by itself. It's almost like calling something like pure house. And obviously there's pure house music, but there's all the different subgenres of house, and it's quite similar.
Yeah, like
it falls under the.
And wasn't Frenchcore actually invented by a Norwegian or something like that?
I don't know. I think the story that I remember reading is that it came out of the late 90s from the French underground, like electro scene or whatever. That's the story I've heard, and that's where it's got its name from. But
Nice. Yeah, and here's me. I decided to go with more upbeat, kind of UK bouncy feeling for the opener, which was kind of nice. Nice opener. Yeah, not decent enough energy, but not like super. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you already answered this question. You said which genre that you started off with was rhythm. How would you describe rhythm?
Yeah, the easiest way I can describe it is while it is it's definitely one of the more repetitive genres. It's definitely it can definitely be on the heavier side if you know like what artist you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
But I think rhythm. I liked rhythm primarily because it was like heavier. Because I grew up as a metalhead and I love headbanging and whatnot. I'm like, rhythm is like, I don't know how to. It's just, I don't know. It just found a special place in my heart, I guess.
Nice. Like I've heard rhythm jokingly referred to as dubstep without the melody.
That's pretty much that. You can definitely sum it up with that. I'm not gonna lie. But But yeah, it's definitely what you said, dubstep without the rhythm. I don't know, it just kind of like stuck with me.
That's good. That's cool. How about you, Physwolf? Like, how do you kind of describe the genres that you play or started playing?
I mean, I certainly like a lot more of the melodic kind of stuff, just a bit more my jam. So you get a lot of these kind of big, sometimes even kind of more orchestral kind of sections to them. Is usually fun. That's usually complemented by a pretty solid beat. So a lot of the happy hardcore, hard dance kind of really strong sort of kick, and usually a pretty. I mean, basses are all over the place on those, but I don't know. I find they kind of give you a lot to work with because I mean, even though they'll usually have a pretty similar kind of structure to them, you can kind of intermix them in different ways to keep the energy up or give a break. Certainly, giving breaks is important with the faster stuff.
Definitely. Like, you don't want to go like super hardcore for like 20 minutes and burn everybody the heck out.
No, everyone will die, and I certainly feel like it's something I'm still trying to get the hang of because it's hard to judge when you're just hanging out, planning out a set, and this is good, and even sometimes just listening through it on a trial run or something doesn't give you quite the same feel of how it's going to flow in a more of a club environment with a bunch of people trying to dance to it or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 120 we can dance fine. 150 we're dancing fine. 170 we're dancing fine. 200 what the fuck? That's seizure.
And then like beyond that is just how do I dance to this? Or how do I move to this? Yeah.
I find that you can do some kind of combination between some quick dancing on beat, and then I usually think of it almost more of like a half beat kind of thing, like
So halftime.
you know, like yeah, kind of in terms of dancing or moving to it or something like that. I don't know. It helps burn some calories trying to.
That's for darn sure. So, what advice would you give to a new DJ who's somebody's looking to start off with? Like, we have honestly, this event has actually inspired a few people to start DJing. Like one of them, I don't see him here. The Blue Tatum Dev. He kind of got inspired to start DJing. In fact, he should be having one of his first sets. It was during Vibe Night. So Saturday is going to be one of his first sets. He's the opener actually for Vibe Night. But yeah, like what advice would he give to those brand new DJs who are just seeing us up here, having fun, fun playing music and mixing tracks? Like, how would you tell them to get started?
I think I would always just recommend kind of touching on the earlier point as well. Like, you don't need any money. Like, if you have a laptop, you have an internet connection, you can get into it. You can start mixing around. And I think that it's really good to just get any free piece of DJ software, get a couple of tracks just that you like, right? And just try making a mix. Doesn't have to be good. If anything, it's probably a good idea just to don't care if it's good, right? Like just worry about just do what you think you can manage. Watch a couple like YouTube videos. There's lots of good resources out there on kind of the basics, and just I think it's important to try force yourself to put together a 20-minute set, something like that. Just some kind of cohesive thing. Record it, upload it on, I don't know, some Mixcloud or something like that. Yes. Just you want to get used to complete the project, walk away from it. Complete the project, walk away from it. Don't worry if it's good or not. Just try to make the next one a little bit better. And
yep.
Some advice that I can give is I don't want to sound like I'm targeting anyone or like being like, oh, but just if someone tells you to play a specific genre, my stance is if they tell you to play if they tell you to play like a specific genre, like, and you're personally not comfortable with mixing, don't listen to them. I say
Yeah.
play what makes you happy. Like what
Yeah.
again, I've had people come to me as like, hey, can you play so and so song? I'm like, sorry, that's not really within my genre range. And as I am trying to expand, yes, but
Mhm.
that's besides the point. Like, play what makes you happy. If playing what makes you happy like means you like clear the floor at some of your shows, like some of your, just don't let it get to your head. That's all I want to say.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like this is VR chat. We all do it for fun. Like we as the DJs are not getting paid usually for what we're doing
Yeah.
here. And honestly, you're not paying a cover charge to get in to see the show or whatnot. So like, if you don't like the music that the DJ is playing, you have other worlds to go to.
You also have a mute button as well. If you don't
Yep.
like what someone's playing, you can turn down. You can
Yep.
turn off the DJ if you just. Like,
World volume. Oh.
yeah.
But yeah, just play what you want to play. And like I've interviewed DJs who their actual day job slash night job is DJing in clubs, and a lot of times they said that the people that come to the club not for the DJ, they come for
Mhm.
the drinks, they come for their friends, and then the DJ is just the NPC background music. So like if
Mhm.
you're doing a live set and you think your set is fire and you look at the floor and it just a lot of people chatting and talking, don't let that bother you. That's just
Mhm.
them enjoying the event, the entertainment that you're doing in their own separate way. Um,
Mhm. I think I might actually even build on that as well, almost like a reverse thing. I would also say that's probably a good idea if you like more than one genre to not limit yourself to one genre. So if you
Yeah,
do
don't.
like different things, don't just say, well, like, let's say I only like to play house or something like that. So like,
Yeah, it's
then you just
I
become a house
definitely.
DJ. But even if you maybe like hardstyle or something like that, like, I think it's helpful if
I
you do like multiple genres to play around with them and kind of get a feel for them.
Yeah, I definitely say just don't limit yourself to like one genre. Have at least like what I'd say like at least a backup like just in case.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I don't know. I
honestly,
don't even
But
know a backup, but like
the,
I mean, like for myself, for example, like when I'm browsing tracks, certainly the main stuff I'm looking for is some like 150
mm,
plus kind of stuff, but I just end up usually collecting a bunch of slower, like a lot of like electro house kind of stuff, and eventually I just collect enough new tracks and I throw together an electro house mix as well, or something like that as well. Like,
yep,
um,
yeah, like kind of go along with both of these guys here. Like, don't limit yourself to one genre. Like, yes, you may want to start off with a genre that you enjoy listening to, or you may have a music collection already sitting around somewhere, in iTunes or whatever software you use to keep your tracks. But don't be afraid to leave your comfort zone because there may be a genre that you have never heard before that may
mhm,
spark that inside of you. Like for me, I try not to hold myself down to a particular genre. Like my wheelhouse is electro house and big room. Those are like my two number one genres that I feel most comfortable DJing. But I branch out to like Melbourne bounce, hardcore. I've done dubstep, hardstyle. I've gone anywhere from like 128 BPM all the way up to 200 BPM. Like, you know, just do what makes you happy. Do like what
Yeah.
genre you like. If you now here's another thing that kind of goes to is like, where do you end up, getting your music to that you play? Like, do you own these? Were these hopefully not pirated? But how did you start your music collection? What is a good way of going about getting a music collection? Whoever wants to answer can answer first.
And so initially I just use a lot of Spotify. Spotify makes some great in terms of recommendations. In terms, their algorithm's pretty decent. In terms of where I find the music, I pretty much just use beatport.com for most of my stuff. One thing that I found is really helpful once you're, it doesn't have to specifically be Beatport, but any of these DJ sites. One thing that I find is also really helpful is it's kind of a trap if you generally if you search for a specific producer. You'll be like, oh, I really like what this track from these guys, and like you look up everything else they make is just like completely different. I found it really helpful to just search by like label. Like I don't know if you noticed it like when it was up on the screen here, but like there wasn't like back to back to back, but like a lot of the tracks were from the same label, and the reason that they work together really well is because a lot of these, especially these smaller labels, they produce a specific sound. They produce a very specific kind of sound, and just inherently, I almost, in some ways, I almost try to like temper it a little bit because it feels like a little bit of a crutch to sometimes with how well they go together, like how effortlessly. But I think it's a really good place to kind of get in there, like for example, like a lot of the Frenchcore stuff is from like Rapture Records, and so you search Rapture Records on the the DJ website, and you just find a huge list of other tracks that are in very much the same kind of genre.
Yep. How about you, Spineshatter? Like, you have a lot of varying different genres that you've played or have or currently play. Where do you go to find your tracks?
I've gotten most of my stuff from gee, where I don't remember. I'd have to check. I get some. I occasionally find some tracks that are like a free download on like SoundCloud, and then I get a bunch of my stuff from like iTunes as well.
Nice. One thing that I do myself, but I suggest kind of looking into is getting a subscription to like Beatport or SoundCloud, where you don't own the songs, but you're able to stream them. So you can actually go to like beatport.com, find tracks that you want to play, add them to a playlist, and then have that be imported into whatever virtual the DJ software you're using. Like Virtual DJ is what I currently use. But you can also have it imported into Rekordbox. You can have it imported to Serato. The disadvantage of doing that is you don't technically have recording rights. So you have to find a way around the recording. But it's good for like trying out a track, like seeing if you really like the track. Like if you really like the track, I strongly suggest do what I do and buy the song. But you don't want to spend $300, a couple $100 on a bunch of tracks and realize they only play like 2 of the 100 or so tracks.
Yeah. It's certainly a trap. There's certainly a few tracks that I've bought that I thought would be perfect, and they've yet to find a place in any set list.
Like there is like a song, like it sounds so awesome, but it just doesn't match well with anything. Let me pull up my virtual DJ. But while I'm doing that, anything you want to add to that train of thought there, Spineshatter?
No. Not that I can think of.
Let's see. It's like I think it's called 1-2-3 Dizzy, and it has like this really really awesome just feel to it, but it's like
Mhm.
it's so totally tonal different than anything else I've been able to find.
Oh, you just gotta play around with some fancy transitioning or something like that. Uh, you should just take it as a challenge to just like force yourself to try to put it just in the middle of a set list.
Yep.
Doesn't have to be played. You don't have to play it straight. Maybe you just like play like a little section of it, or just the highs of it or something in a part, or just see if you can play around a little bit.
Yeah, let's see. Now, let's see. This is a question that was actually I was suggested to ask for DJs from Flex, who's a very very awesome kid. They're a very awesome heavy metal DJ.
Yeah,
They
I know their stuff is really good.
yeah yep. Uh, they wanted to kind of see how other DJs deal with the haters, like because there's always going to be a person in the room that is not going to like the music that you're playing and will try to beat you down. Like, how do you deal with that? Not only in this from VR and DJing, but in life in general. If you encounter a hater, how do you address that or deal with that?
I mean, I think I think it's at least with the DJing kind of example. I always find it that as long as there's like one person on the dance floor that's like just really having a great time, it's kind of like I find that extremely motivating. Like you play like a bigger show, and if there's 70 80 people in the instance, and there's like one person that's like actually in the center of the dance floor, and they're actually just going ham, I find that's a much kind of more important thing to focus on. Try to just let that one little positive, if you have it, outweigh the any potential negatives or something like that. And then at the end of the day, I think even if you don't have that one person that's enjoying it, I mean, myself, I got into this because it seemed like a fun activity, right? It seems like I got into it because I enjoy it and I'm playing music that I want to hear.
Yep.
So at the end of the day,
and honestly, one thing too, you think about it, as long as one person in the room is having fun, you made it. If you're the DJ and you're having fun, fuck it, you met that requirement.
Exactly. Like, and I think that goes both ways as well, right? Like, if you're the DJ and it doesn't look like you're having a good time, how can you, I don't know, how can you expect everyone else to as well? I always, try to be up there. This is not a good example. I'm not jet lagged, but on very little sleep. I had to drive out here for this show from a conference, like 2 hours away. So,
well, you're doing pretty good. All right, sorry to cut you off. What were you going to say, Spineshatter?
My take on this is, well, if someone's like, unless my stance is, unless they're actively causing problems and trying to like obstruct your sound, like if you're the DJ, like I'd say just don't pay attention to them. Like if you're having fun, and if you see, this is a bonus though, if you see like everybody just vibing, having a good time, don't let one bad seed in the crowd put you down and whatnot. Just just enjoy what you're doing and just have fun. That's all I can say.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Like, and at least what's cool thing about VR chat is if you have anybody up in your face and you just don't want to deal with it, select the avatar, block.
There's
Yeah, yeah.
there's a funny
Yeah.
little button called the block button, and it works wonders.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just fun to mute them because like you can see them, but you can just like feel the hatred, and they're like, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
But it's getting late for for all of us. But here's one question I always ask, and it always brings some interesting introspection and thought. If you were to send back a message in time, somehow to you yourself when you're starting DJing, what message would you send back? Like some people, like just kind of preface this or kind of lead you not down like a particular answer, but just some of the answers that other DJs have given. Some would say, they would send back a message saying, "Hey, you keep it up. You're doing what you're doing. It may be tough, but it's worth it in the end." Some would say, don't. One person said to not let that idiot at Guitar Center talk you out of buying those new DJ decks. Because there wasn't something better down the pipeline. Another one said, "Oh yeah, well, he decided to ditch his girlfriend at the time because they ended up breaking up like 6 months later, and he wasted a lot of time focusing on her instead of DJing." Like, what would you send back?
I would probably just tell myself to when I was starting out like DJing and want to like just keep at it and just never give up and not let any like hate get to my head or like let people try to like talk me out of like actually getting into DJing because how far I've come within the like 7-ish months of DJing, I'm actually really proud. I'm really proud of myself.
Like, honestly, like there is a reason why you're on the show. Like, I'll take anyone on i.W.A.I.T that shows that they have a love for the music. Like, you don't have to be the greatest DJ in the world to be on i.W.A.I.T. You just have to show that a love for the music and for the genre that you do. Yes, everybody's going to make mistakes here and there. Heck, I even made a few mistakes during my set. I had my entire set pre-planned out. Go from this track to this track, this track, and for some reason, my virtual DJ switched the tracks around. So I'm like, oh, I'm going on the list. And I'm like, oh crap, that's not the track that should be playing here. Oh crap, what should I do?
I remember. Yeah, and during my set, I accidentally paused one of the tracks. I'm like, oh wait, that's not supposed to happen.
And like, that's one cool thing about us being, DJs and DJing live is like, if you make that mistake, you gotta own it and fix it like then and there.
Yeah.
Like you can't just like when you're pre-recording, like, oh, that really 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 sucked. Stop track. Let's go back to the beginning track. Stop recording. Start new recording. Go. It's like when you're doing it live, you're like, oh, that sucked. Let's quickly minimize the damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get. I know whenever I'm trying to record, even if I feel like the recording's screwed up, if I make a mistake, even if the recording is a mulligan, I'll try to like just deal with it in the sense of you gotta kind of get used to very quickly setting up a beat jump, and even if you have to like jump back like 32 beats or something like that, just literally just try the mix again or try the cue point again or something like that.
Yeah.
If you can keep some semblance of it going, even if it's a little bit jarring in the short term.
Anything you want to add, Spineshatter?
No.
Okay. Now, most people want to know, probably by the name DJ Spineshatter, where did that come from?
I'm going to be completely honest. Part of it was like I need like part of it was inspiration from. This is gonna sound really cheesy, but I got the name. My name was originally supposed to be like Neckbreaker, like Doombringer, and I'm like. And like yeah, some like really edgy name, I don't know. But some of the inspiration, I'm not gonna lie, did come from one of my favorite DJs actually, Fetus Grinder.
Yeah, Fetus Grinder.
He's a great DJ, but later down the line, my original DJ name was just Wisp. And since I play like a lot of like really heavy genres, I wanted like a name to kind of match the energy, like the really heavy like headbanging energy and whatnot.
It works.
Hence why I changed my name to Spineshatter.
Well, better Spineshatter than Spineshitter.
Yeah.
How about you, Physwolf? Like, what got you choosing that name?
Oh, it's quite a boring story. Phys is literally just physics. It's just physics wolf. I'm a physicist in real life, so it's
so it's basically life, art imitating life.
yeah.
Nope, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this thing up so we can all get some sleep on. Any last things you want to add to the interview before we wrap up?
The only thing I would say is I think the events seem like they're really good. So I'm certainly glad that you had me out.
Yep.
I like the format as well. Like it's kind of interesting and different and
yeah, like
really cool.
Yeah, like I used to just i.W.A.I.T used to be just me streaming alone for like 3 hours, and I got bored of it. Like it's like I'm really do love my audience, but it was just me, and I kind of got tired of just streaming myself. So I'm like, wait a second, I have a lot of friends in VR chat. Why don't I just ask them to DJ along with me? Like, just have like 3 DJs hanging out for 3 hours and just trading sets, and it evolved into this here. Any final things that you would like to add, Spineshatter?
Actually, as this was my first i.W.A.I.T, I do say it was definitely an amazing experience. It was great to just be out and just kind of. Another reason I like being able to DJ for events like this is primarily it just kind of it gives me a reason to actually like continue down the path of a DJ, because honestly, if I didn't have people that are like, hey, you want to like DJ for us at some point, I probably would have stopped.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I'm totally on board there.
It was definitely fun. It was definitely fun being able to just kind of go at. I kind of went along the lines of a set I'm actually going to be playing on Sunday, but then I kind of said screw it and kind of winged it a little bit. So
nice.
It was definitely fun.
Yes, and if anybody out there is a DJ or wanting to start DJing and wants to join i.W.A.I.T, hit me up. You can always go to the Discord, i.W.A.I.T. That's i.W.A.I.T. .tailbase tailbass.com. You have to agree to the rules of the Discord, but there's also a form that DJs can fill out to request a DJ role, and please DM me directly once you filled out the form so I can go ahead and review it and make sure to give you the DJ role. Where can people find you? Like, before obviously you're going to have your sets in the description, but like,
So I have a Mixcloud and a YouTube, which both are just Physwolf.
Okay.
Mixcloud's a little bit weird. You might have to say DJ Physwolf, even though it's not what it is anymore. But I post stuff there. A lot of the times the stuff is mirrored. I'll post reasonably high quality audio to Mixcloud, and then a video, basically just like this, where you can. If I'm doing a recorded set, I'll also have a camera over the deck. So if you like seeing what I am actually doing, you can pretty much see everything that I'm actually doing there.
Nice. How about
With myself, you can. I will be posting my Mixcloud on my Twitter, which is DJ_Spineshatter, all caps, and as like per live mixing my stuff, I need to start remembering to record my sets or record a set. So
hit the record button.
So I can,
Yes, always hit the record button.
So I can at least give you guys a taste of like what I mix, which is primarily metal, rhythm, tarot, but starting to broaden my horizons and expand the genres that I mix.
Nice. As far as me, you probably already know, but look me up, Warned1, W-A-R-N-E-D, the number 1 for Mixcloud. But for Twitter, unfortunately, Warned1 is taken. I'm thinking about trademarking my name so I can actually tell Twitter to give me the username. But it's actually Warned O-N-E for my Twitter handle. Though on Telegram, actually, whenever you see me play, I have all my socials at the bottom of my GUI graphics, so you can be able to do it there. But once again, thank you so much, DJ Spineshatter. Thank you so much for Physwolf for agreeing on such a short notice to, come and DJ with me. I'll definitely be glad to have you guys back. Though do be aware there is like about roughly a month or so cooldown, because I want to cycle through as many DJs as I possibly can.
Yep.
But once again, thank you so much. This week is going to be interesting because we're actually going to have a special Saturday version of i.W.A.I.T. It's going to be all drum and bass. I am DJing opener. It's Noda is going to be the second DJ, and then Valent Nova Light, or DJ Valent, is going to be the closing DJ. So look forward to it. I still haven't figured out exactly what start time I want to do, because I want to be done before Vibe Night starts up. So it's probably be around 1 o'clock to noon Mountain Time. This is more addressed to the people who are watching the stream still, because once this is uploaded to YouTube, I'll probably be my lazy ass will probably forget to upload it to YouTube until about 2 weeks away. But again, thank you so much for joining me and spreading our joy music. Until next time, we all wait together.